Okay, hi, I'm Mitch Bryars, and I'll be chairing the meeting today, and we're going to talk about iOS 13 on the iPad and on the iPhone. And I got to ask, how many people are up and running on iOS 13? Most everybody here, okay. If you're not up and running on iOS 13, some of the things I'm going to say, you won't be able to follow along on your device because they're new. And iOS 13, they're actually on 13.1 point something, but the reviews have come in and it's pretty safe to upgrade to that. There's not too many errors being reported at this point in time for iOS 13 on the iPad and the iPhone. I'm not going to say you're not going to run into some, but it's pretty clean. And I've been using it for about 3 or 4 months because I was on the beta. And it was a swamp full of snakes when it first came out, but they've corrected just about everything. Okay, so I wanted to start with what's new on the home screen, and I want to focus on the iPad. So this is my iPad, and one of the things that's new is there's a lot more apps that you can have on a page. And you might be able to see that. I mean, like right there. There's a lot more than on the old iOS. So that's the one thing. You've got all these. And that's quite nice. I find it nice that they've added another, I think, row. They've added another row this way and another row at the bottom. The other thing that's new is this today view. And you slide over to get to that. So I'm just going to take my finger, I'm going to slide, I'm going to make it go away. Okay. And then I'll bring it back right there. Now, one of the things that you can do is you can on the iPad, and you can do this on the iPhone too, but you can't do it and have it on there permanently like what I'm going to show you on the iPad. So and there's an order of these, I'll go through that, but so I've got the weather first, then I've got the calendar, and then I have Siri suggested apps, which are really apps that I've used frequently. And then there's news, and if you hit on the arrow, it'll expand these. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now. And then there's the Wall Street Journal, and then shortcuts at the bottom, and then you see this edit button right here. I'm going to hit on that, and this comes up. Now, if you turn this on, keep on the home page at all times, then I'll show you what happens. Okay, now let's just wait. I'm going to hit done. And now it's there. So if I go back to the home page, it pops up immediately. And I've been playing with that. I don't know whether I like, a lot of people in the review said, oh, they really like having that there all the time because it gives them a quick glance of their important things. But it's not that hard to get to. It's just a swipe of the finger to get to it. But if I go back down and get rid of it, I can hit edit and I can just take it, I can turn it off, which is what I'm going to do for right now. The other thing, before I do that, let me turn this back on. The other thing is that you can pin 2 favorites to the top of the list at all times. And I have dark sky and calendar. So that's this area right here. And you do that while this button's on, but it works when that button's off. And then the other favorites are down here at the bottom, and you can change the order. You can, switch them around. And then there are a lot of them that I don't have on here that I could add more widgets. They call them widgets. I could add more and they would appear at the bottom of the list. So if I wanted to add, let's just say I wanted to add, let's just say I want to add the calculator. So I hit the plus, and now the calculator is right here. And if I go out of here and I hit done, now you see the calculator's at the bottom. And it stays there permanently. So that's how you adjust the list. Are there any questions about that?
Could you do that last step again, please?
Sure. So if I go down and hit edit, right here. Okay, now I'm going to take it out is what I'm going to do. So here's where all these are, and you can change the order. And here's the calculator right here. So if I want to add one, if I want to add the Bible, I would just hit the plus. So I'll do that real quick. Hit, and see how it goes right up here? Now it's in the favorites, okay? And it's going to appear on that screen. If I want to take it out, so I'll take out the calculator, remove, and it puts the calculator right down below again, okay? And I'll do the same thing with the Bible. Well, we'll do done, and I'll show you where the Bible is. So now the Bible is showing at the end of the list. It was at the end. It was at the end. Okay, now I hit edit again, go back in, and I'm going to take the Bible out. Okay? For me, I should have it there at the top of the list all the time, but I'm going to take it out for right now. Okay. Remove. And I like this and I'm using it. What I'm not using is I'm not using the keep on the home page. I don't particularly care for that. So I'm going to take that off for right now. And you got to hit done to make your changes stick. So I hit done. And now when I go over here like this, it's not there. Yes, Lupe.
So if you have that permanently on your homepage, you don't lose any of your apps, they're just showing small.
They're just showing smaller, yes. So that's a good point. Let's go back in there. Let's hit edit. We'll turn it on again. Hit done. And they just hit smaller. They just crunch them up
They
a
don't
little
go
bit.
on to the next.
No, no. Pretty sure it just makes them smaller. Let's just see. Edit. Take that off. Done. Yeah. See how it does that?
Yeah.
It just squishes them up. Okay. So I like the feature, but I don't like it always on because if I want to see it, I just go like this and I look at it. And you can change the order. I mean, I was fooling around with it this morning. I made it the same phone and on my iPad in terms of I got the weather at the top, then I've got the calendar, then I've got the Siri favorites, then I've got the news and Bloomberg and so on. On the iPhone, I'll tell you that in just a second. Hold that. So I could have more and more of them. You could just scroll on down. But again, I prefer to just have them, and like, so the weather, I'll do this real quick. See, the weather app is open now, this dark sky. If I hit the little thing right here, it'll make it smaller, okay? If I go down, I'll show you, if I hit the news one, get ready, there'll be a Trump explosion. There we go. So then a whole bunch of news articles start coming up, okay? And if I want to close that up, I just close it up. I think if you leave it open and then go here and go back, it'll still be open. So you can play with that. It's a new feature. It's a nice feature. You know, my only question is, which apps do you want on there? Which things do you want coming up? And again, I just this morning was saying, well, if the weather's at the top on my iPad and that's where I want it, it should be at the top on my phone. Now, on the phone, what you do on the phone is on your home page of the phone, there is no option to have it on all the time or not on the phone. The screen's too small, but you just swipe over and it'll be there. Swipe from left to right and it'll be there from the home page. So you're on your home page and you swipe and it looks like, I don't know if you can see that, but it looks the same. Okay. But they are sort of, and they are independent. So if I put the news at the top on my phone and I put it on the bottom on my iPad, that's the way it'll be. They don't sync. Okay? So everybody get how to do it on the phone? Okay.
Mine don't, it just has that top story, then like whether, you know.
Okay, because you've got to go in and you've got to, remember, you've got to go in and you've got to go to the bottom of the list and hit edit.
Oh, I got it.
And then start adding them, subtracting them, moving the order around and so on the phone. Okay? Okay, now, let me get back to where I was before. So that's the today view on the iPad, and on the phone, and the differences between the two, and the fact that you can change the order and so on, went over that. The next big thing that a lot of people talk about is dark mode. You can get to dark mode a couple of different ways. But if I go into settings, which will be right here. So I'll go into settings, and now I'm going to go down to display and brightness. And here is light, and here is dark, and it will be on light mode until sunset, and it'll automatically switch to dark mode. That's the way I've set it up. That dark mode, they say it's better on your eyes, but I've had a little time getting used to it, but I have been using it more and more. I don't like it on all the time. You turn it on all the time, you would just hit that dark right here. And if I hit that, that's what it would do. Okay?
Does it save the battery? If you put it on dark?
Not that I've read. If you put it on dark, it does. That means if you turn off your device.
And if you put it on automatic, say that again, it does what?
If you put it on automatic, I've got it on automatic, I'll turn it off. If I turn it off, it's just going to be in light mode all the time, okay? And so when I turn it off, and there's an option here, I'm going to hit that option. If I hit the option is sunset to sunrise or custom. If I hit custom, it will allow me to put in the times.
So mine didn't come up with an option. If I had automatic off, it didn't show option.
Hold on. So let's go, I want to go here, go back.
Oh, it has to be.
No, it has to be on.
On automatic.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So that's another little thing you can play with. There's a big thing. I guess it's been on Androids for quite some time. It's something that a lot of people wanted, was the dark mode, and it's very nice. Like I say, I just having a little time getting used to it, but I'm liking it more and more as time goes on.
Did that guy?
And you gotta remember, as time goes on, for me is I've been playing with this thing since July, so it's not like last week I had this on. So when you turn these things on, I would encourage you to just play with them, use them for a few days, see if you like it, let it go for a week, come back to it, whatever. Okay. So that's dark mode. Now, one other way you can get to dark mode, I'm going to go to the home page, and that is from your control center. I'm going to just swipe down from right up here on my iPad. Okay. And dark mode is right here. And it's one of the things that you select that you can put in your control center. So if I hit that, now I'm in dark mode. So I go out of here and see I'm in dark mode. Okay, I'll go back in there, hit it again, and now I'm back to light mode and back to my schedule that I set up. Okay, now where you set that up from is settings. Go to settings and go to control center right under general and go to custom.
Yeah.
And here are all the things that you can put in your control center. I don't have The bottom ones
Thank you.
I just didn't want to put in, so I didn't put them in. Okay, but so if I want to take out anything, I just hit the negative sign. So it's just the same as what we went through before. You just hit negative and I hit remove, and then it puts it right down here. The timer's now at the bottom down there. Okay, so the one that they added is dark mode right there. Okay. And I don't know whether it
But if
comes.
you have the other thing, you don't need.
No, you don't necessarily need this.
I'm just saying you have it on automatic. and
Oh, if you have it on automatic, yeah. But if you want to flip it on all of a sudden,
Oh,
you either go into that brightness and display and fool around with that, or you just swipe down and hit the button and turn it on. Okay? Any questions about that or the control center at this point? Yes.
Mary.
Yeah.
The 3 lines. Right.
Oh, those 3 lines allow you to, whenever you see those 3 lines, it's pretty consistent in iOS. It allows you to move the order. So if you just grab that 3 lines, it'll allow you to move them. So just touch them and slide it up and down. Okay. Anything else on that? Okay. Now, yes.
One of the things you can add is the app. You add that.
Yes, you can. I haven't done that, but yes, that's the intent. You can bring up the controller right there. And there's an app for the controller, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is the app. That gets you to it. So let's get back out of here and let me look at my notes here real quick. I want to go back. But that's the way life is. So I want to go back to here. There is one more thing that I neglected to show you on this, and that is that when you have this on automatic, I think it's only on automatic, keep on the screen. Okay, one of the things that you can do, whoops. One of the things that you can do is when you're on this view, you can swipe down and it will hide all those other things. Did everybody see that? It's pretty quick. So if I'll swipe up, hold the screen and swipe up, they'll come back. See them? Now, if I go right to here and I put my finger like on that 9 and just, and swipe down, whoops. Should do that, come on. There we go. It's gotta be at the top to do it. So I neglected to show you that. So you can, I never do that, but in going over this, I was reviewing it and actually on one of Dan's tutorials, he's got some nice tutorials up on iOS 13, just posted them up. So that's how you do that. So go back in here and I want to hit the edit and turn this off again because I don't like it there all the time. Okay, now, also I want to mention, I'm not going to demonstrate it, but you can use a Bluetooth mouse via accessibility. If you Google iOS 13, how to use a mouse with your iPad or iPhone, you'll get all kinds of articles on that. So Google iOS 13, how to use a mouse on your iPhone and iPad, and it'll give you instructions. I have not done it. I've watched some videos. The one thing that I don't like that a lot of people complained about is you don't get an arrow moving around the screen. You get like a circle. And a lot of people said they didn't care for that. And I can see why. I mean, I'd rather have an arrow. I'm used to the arrow on the computer. Yes.
These things that you're going over, is that only for the new phones with iOS 13 or is it all?
No, no, all this stuff is good for on most devices. Now with the iPad, some of these advanced things like the mouse, it indicated to me that went back a few different levels of iPad, but I'm not positive on that. It's not a feature that I'm using. But I got that in reading something yesterday that, yeah, it wasn't just on the Pro, on the Super Pro, the 11-inch and the 13 or whatever it is. Oh, and speaking about that, does anybody use split keyboards on their iPad in here? You do, Marilyn?
I've used it. not
Okay.
all the time, but I have used
I had a friend of mine, and he was complaining about iOS 13. Well, on the new 11-inch iPad only, and on the sister to that, the 13-inch, I guess it is, or 12.9, that feature is no longer available in iOS 13. And he was he had one of the bigger iPads, the brand new ones, and he would do the split keyboard so he could thumb type. And I never thumb type. I just usually use Siri. But that's, for some reason, and there was an explanation on the internet about screen size and so on, but they took that away. And a lot of people who use that obviously are not happy with that. Now, if you have one of the other iPads like mine, which is the 10.5-inch, you can do it. Yes.
One of the ways you can thumb type, I don't know if you can show it today, is, now I'm not sure if this is on all iPads. You can shrink the keyboard and slide it over to the side, and you can thumb type like you would on the iPhone.
Yes, and I'm not going to show that today, but I know you can do that. And I don't know that that feature has been taken away. It's the split
Right.
that was taken away. Okay, let me see. Okay, you can also on the newer iPads, and I gathered you could do it on even on mine with the Lightning adapter. You can get a cord connection and hook up an external storage device to that with iOS 13, and those storage things will come up in your files folder. And a lot of people were pretty excited about that. It's not something I would use at this point, but I'm sure in the future I might. A definite maybe. Yeah, it's a definite maybe. A lot of people were really excited about that. I mean, you could take a thumb drive, in other words, and if you hook this adapter up, you put the thumb drive in there, and if it was a 128 gigabyte thumb drive, all that stuff would come right into your files area. You could actually import it onto your device if you had room.
You could use it for traveling, if you had a movie or something that you didn't have room for.
Yes, that'd be a good usage. You have a movie on a stick, or you have movies on a hard drive, and you want to watch them, and you're on an airplane or something. You just put that in, and it would come up. Yes.
So what kind of adapter would you require?
Well, so it would be a Lightning adapter here, okay, that goes in your iPad, and yeah, where your charger is, and then the other end would be whatever kind of adapter the storage device is using, probably a USB. I think that they're a good investment on if you have a. I don't know if I would get it on mine, but if I had an iPad 11, the latest one, I think could be a good investment if you use a lot of things. And a hub would be where you're plugging in one device into your machine where it charges, and then it has 2 or 3 or 4 different types of connections. They can be different types that you could plug into. Yes.
Mitch, you mentioned you don't type, you use Siri.
Yes.
Would you demo just start in an email?
Sure.
Whatever is.
Sure. So if we go into mail, and I'll go into a new message, and we'll do it to George. Here we go. Meeting. I could have dictated that, but we'll go here.
Can you dictate?
And now I'm gonna hit the microphones at the bottom.
Wait 1 second, can you dictate the name also?
I could, I think you can, yes, it'll populate, I think. We'll check it in a minute, okay? So now I'm gonna hit the microphone. Hello, George. I just wanted to tell you that we really don't miss you today. Just kidding, I hope you're having a great day. And we do really miss you and love you. Okay, now I hit the keyboard to stop that, and then I could send that, but I'm not gonna do that, I'm gonna cancel. And I'm gonna delete it. Tell George the type of guy, you tell him you love him, and he might start getting huggy and everything else, you know. Okay, so let's go back in and create another email and just see if I can do that. George. I'd have to select the right George.
So
Okay.
Now, do you have somebody just? make-
See, it picks up everything. It's still picking up things, and it's not going to send that to anybody. See it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Wait a second, so
that's a big contact.
what if you
Just
have
cancel
somebody
this.
there's only one George,
I would assume it would put it in.
but does
Um,
it take the email address?
Yes, it would. I think it would.
Okay, so now to get down to the subject matter, how do you?
You would have, next paragraph will take you
I
down.
think it will, yes.
Let's just see. Okay, so let's go into, whoops, that's not what we wanted to do. Yeah. Cancel, okay. So now let's go in here. George. Now, it turned off the microphone as soon as I hit on George. So now let me hit the microphone again. Next paragraph. It doesn't jump the field,
Maybe try
no.
tab.
Okay. Tab. Tab. No, it's not liking that. I haven't played much with that, quite honestly. I don't find it too intrusive to just go down to
Say subject.
subject. Picked it right up.
Have to place the cursor manually.
Yeah, if I place it there, now I can do whatever I want to do. And this has gotten, for me, this has gotten a lot more accurate over time. It still is not where I'd like to see it. It still makes mistakes, and that's sort of a pain to correct. But I'm such a poor typer that almost always I dictate these things. I dictate notes, I dictate emails, and I can dictate. Unfortunately, it will only allow you to dictate so long, and it stops you. And I wish it would let you go on and on, because I can literally dictate pages and pages and pages and come back and then make corrections. And that was from another life when I had a secretary and did that stuff when they still took dictation back in the, yeah, the 1600s, yeah. So anyhow, I think that for me, the Siri works well. Anybody else here use Siri? Boy, a lot of people. No? Oh, you do? Okay, few people do? Okay. You should try it. Sometimes I know, I think Eckert was complaining that I think it was Eckert, that he was having trouble with it because of a little accent that he has. And sometimes that can be problematic, but I don't know, I like it quite a bit because I just don't like the type. Okay, why'd that come off? I turned those off, I thought. Okay. Now, let me go back on this list. There, there have been several improvements made to multitasking and slide over on the iPad. And I'll see if I can demonstrate that. I'm not very good at this because I don't use it that often, but like if I open up Safari, okay, and now I go down to my menu and I want to open up notes. I grab the notes and I go over here and you pull it to the top. And now I've got two screens and they're both active. Here's this one, and go right into here and I can start making a new note and so on, okay? So that's
only on the iPad.
That's on the iPad, not on the iPhone. Okay. What's that?
How did you get to the split screen?
Okay, I'll show you again. So to get rid of it, oh, you can make it bigger too by just moving it over. Okay, or make it a little smaller. Move it over here. And then to get rid of it, you just go like that. Okay. Now to get it, I'll show you. I'll show you. Hey, you can't see my finger. That's right. Okay, so I'm grabbing the notes, okay? Got my finger on the notes, and I'm just gonna take that, it's sort of tricky to do. Take that, come on, there, and drag it to the top, okay? Now,
Sure. Can you put the lid of your computer down so it shows your finger on the keyboard instead of your face? And maybe that's what you're doing.
I don't think they can. No, they can't. No, it doesn't pick that up. Now, okay, there's a little thing right here. And that's how you make it smaller or bigger, moving that, which was one of the questions. So to get rid of that, you just go over here. Now, that is a shared screen. They're both active. Now there's also slide over, which I don't use, and slide over is a little different. So here's the notes in slide over. You don't pull it to the top, you pull it over here. And it's different. That is different. Notice that there's no thing here for me to make it bigger. Okay?
What's the purpose?
You can slide it over.
You can slide it over and you can work in it. Okay? But it is different from the dual screens working together. And I wish I could answer your question, but it's an area that I don't use very often, and I just did enough to be dangerous for today, which wasn't enough because I can't answer your question. Yes.
I'm sorry to ask you this, but when you say you open Safari and then you pull up to the bottom, you have your list of notes or your app.
Yeah.
And then you have to drag one of those to the very top. I do that when I open the screen.
You should get a split screen on the iPad. Let me get rid of this and let's see now.
You have to have it in the right.
Oh, this makes it, when I pulled it down, now this makes it a split screen. Now the thing is here. Okay.
Right.
Now, if I go here, and let's just see if I can do this, and I go to photos and put this here. Now, I've got photos split screen there, but the other one is gone.
But when you initially pulled up on notes, photos,
Yes,
where did
the initial pull up is from here up to here.
all
If you want the split screen, if you want the slide over, you pull it up from here over to here, which is sort of confusing. I mean, yeah. Okay, I'm not going to go over, I mean, I want you to know that there are a lot of things and a lot of people raved about it. Those are just not features that I use very often, but I'll get more and more versed on them as time goes on. But I want you to know that they're there. There are also several improvements with the pencil. I have a pencil, but I don't have it here, but there were some things on the videos that indicated that there were a lot more improvements with the old pencil and the new one as well in terms of what it will do. There's new markup tools. And the iOS actually works a lot faster than iOS 12. And you probably would only notice that the first day or so you have it going. You say, oh, this is a little quicker. And then it's like, well, I'm not noticing that because it's not like it's 30% quicker. It's maybe 5 or 10% quicker. I don't know, but it is quicker. Okay, now I want to go over a couple other things. I want to go over. They did a pretty major redo of the Notes app. I use the Notes app all the time. How many people here use the Notes app? Quite a few. Good. Okay, so let's spend some time in the Notes app, and I have several folders set up. How many people use folders in the Notes app? Few of you? Okay, if you use this a lot, you'll want to start setting up folders. Really easy to do. Just hit new folder right here and name it, and there you go. Now, I keep all of mine in the iCloud, which means that they sync between all my devices. And that's what I want, because you can store them on the device or you can store them in the iCloud. And I made sure that I took all the ones that were stored on my device and got them into the iCloud. Yes.
On mine, I have folders, I have iCloud, and then below that, I have Yahoo.
That's because you might be saving them also to Yahoo. I don't know. Or is Yahoo a folder?
I don't.
I'd have to see it to know. And see if you see me after the meeting, I'll take a look at it. But usually what you'll see when I first pulled mine up, I had inadvertently saved some things to my iPhone and didn't save them to the cloud, or same thing on the iPad. So if you've got a situation like that, you'll see your folders and it'll say iCloud and it'll list your folders, and then it'll say your device and it'll list folders there. And what I did is got rid of all those folders that were being stored locally. Okay. Now, the other big change with Notes is that you can have pictures and you can bring in articles. So here's an example. Sorry, this isn't clear, but this happens to be watch notes that I picked up, and this was on how to download music to your Apple Watch. And I just literally Googled that, and I went in and I just copied and pasted what was there right into this note. And that's a good example of when that split screen can be useful. That's not how I did it, but if you had to split screen and you were on Safari, you'd do your search there. When you found out what you wanted to capture, you'd copy it, paste it, and drag it right over to where you want to put it in Notes or wherever. Email, okay, which is really handy, and I'm sure I'll start using that more and more. But I actually did it the old-fashioned way, which I went into Safari, copied it, pasted it, and into here. Yes.
Not the split screen part, but the rest of this, is that apply also to the phone?
Yes. Yeah. So all this Notes stuff applies to the phone, not the split screen, right? So the important thing to note is that when you copy and paste, you get the picture and everything of what you're copying, which is new in Notes. You used to be able to maybe drop a photo in there, but now you can just take part of a web page and just drop it right in the way it looks. And that's sort of neat. So here's another one.
Can you show an example?
Yeah, I can show an example. So let's do one with the split screen and see if I can do that. Maybe I can make this a real example. Well, we'll go to Safari. Oops. Safari, come on, Safari. I really have a hard time with this split screen business, getting it to go. Okay. Here we go. Good. Okay, so now let's say, let me just get to a page I want. Let's see. Now there's troubleshooting. Let's go to Xfinity troubleshooting.
So when you went to Safari, you can type in your browser something you want to look up.
Yes, so, okay, now I'm on Amazon. So let's say that,
Okay.
let's say I want to take this and I want to just take this
Right.
and put it right there.
Just drag it.
Yep. I dragged that whole picture right on over.
Right. No copy.
No copy and paste. Now, if I was on text, so if I was on, let's say, well, let's do another note, because you can do two apps at a time. So let's say that, let's say, here's my wife's cooking recipe, and let me just grab this, and there's an easy way to select all this that I can't do right now. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go.
So when you touched on copy, it did the whole thing.
I actually made it do that. But there are some new gestures that allow you to grab the whole thing. I don't have those memorized yet, but there are gestures that you can, if you do 3 fingers or something, and it'll just grab everything. Yes.
And you print from notes.
Yes. Yes. So to print from notes, let me just go over that real quick. You would just go here, and if there were a printer, it would be, there it is, print right here. Okay. There's all kinds of things you can do.
Okay, but wait, if you went to print, how does it know what you want?
It'll print that whole note.
Okay.
He said, can you print from notes? It would print that note. Yes.
particular.
Yes. Yes.
Can you put folders, inside folders in notes?
I don't think so. We'll look at that. Let me get out of here, and I'll worry about straightening my mess up later. Let me see. Okay, so this one I'm gonna shut down. Come on. There we go. Okay, and now I'm back on this one, okay, and I can delete that picture. Haha, I did that. And then this. Now this is where I have to drag. I'm dragging my finger to select all this stuff. Whoops, I don't want to select all of it. I always just get this right here. Oh, come on. There we go, and go down here to the bottom, and now I will cut that. Now I'm back to where I was before.
Where do you go? Where's the best place to go to find out how do I turn off risk detection and stuff like that? You go to
The best place to go is Google. And what you would do is just say, like on Apple Watch, how to turn off risk detection. And I'll do that in a second. So this particular note happens to be a link. You can't see it here. So in this note, I would just hit on that, and it would bring me up to the website where this the article is. Okay. Now,
What do they mean by risk detection?
risk detection is when you go like this and your watch goes on, your Apple Watch. Okay, well, we get some time. So let me see if I can do that real quick. So we'll go here, add a page right here. We'll add a page, and we'll go and we'll put in here. And what did we want to do? We want to do risk detection, how to turn off risk detection on an Apple Watch. Is that what you wanted? For an example?
No, I know. The syncing of the music. Is that what?
Oh, yeah, and where I got that was just right here. So let me just show you that. Google will answer. Google almost knows as much as my wife. I think everybody understands that. Okay. So let's just do that. Let's just, what was the one on the music? Okay. So if you go up here to search, and I'm going to do a Siri. Well, what I'm going to say here, we want to do how to record, sync music to your Apple Watch. How to sync music to your Apple Watch. Okay, I'm going to hit the first one. Voila. And there's a whole bunch of them here, and there'll be other suggestions, and there's videos, but it's just a great place to answer any question you have. And speaking of questions, I have a question, and if anybody can answer this question, I'll give you a prize. If they can tell me how to do what I want to do. So if you're in text messaging and you're going to do a new message, so a new message is this blue little thing right here. Okay, and now I don't have any messages that are more than one person. I deleted all the messages that had 2 or 3 persons in there, okay? So now I put in, I want to send this to Ted. Now, all these Teds come up, but also what comes up, and that doesn't bother me at all. The first guy I want to send it to is Ted Broadway, right there. So I would just touch on him and do my text message. Here's what I can't get rid of. These are all old message chains where Ted was included, and you can't get rid of them. You used to be able to swipe and just delete them. I asked them at the Apple store. They said the gal just sat there and she said, yeah, I've noticed that. I said, I don't think you can do that. I'm not sure. Does anybody know how to do that? Use a match. That's a good response. That's all. I almost would give you a prize for that. So if anybody finds that,
Is this only on the iPad?
no, iPad or the iPhone. It's just like you would think. It looks like, oh, these people are all in my contacts, but they're not. I mean, they're in my contacts, but where they're at, it's like the old thing on mail when you're on the computer and you type in previous recipients, and you can't get rid of previous recipients that I know of in text messaging. Yes.
What I do is I start with the letters, the next letters. It eliminates a vast majority of them. If you type out the full name, none of those others appear.
No, he's
No.
saying that he can't get rid of the other ones.
No, if I type in his name, he's the first one there.
They eliminate the problem.
Yeah. There he is. That's his full name. Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't eliminate the rest of it, but you can.
Oh, I can identify him. That's not a problem. It's just that what's the problem is that if you just happen to hit the wrong one, I asked Ted, you're in a hurry, and here you're sending it to 2 or 3 different people, or in some cases here, there's a whole chain of 20 people in a group. And the group has been eliminated. I've deleted the group, but the history remains, which you said was called what in a, yeah, previous recipients and mail. I'm gonna have to make a note of that right here. Check that out. Okay. Check for previous recipients in messages.
What happens if you touch on the right? One of those?
If we touch on the right, it just comes up with the 2 people.
You can't delete it.
Well, if I go in and I want to delete this person, it's deleting the contact.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Now, actually, it's not even deleting the contact. It's not letting you to delete the contact. So, yeah, we've tried a couple different things. Somebody brought this to my attention and said, how do you do it? Couldn't figure it out. Said they called Apple and everything else.
Did you ask me?
No, I'm going to. I'm going to ask about that previous recipients after the meeting. Okay, so enough on notes. They did do a major redo and it's pretty good. I really want to spend some a little bit of time we have left. We get more than a little time. So the other thing I wanted to go over was reminders. How many people in here use reminders? Okay. The rest of you, do you just forget everything? Okay. When you see my reminder list, you gotta laugh, okay? Because some of my reminders, 2 or 3 of them, come directly from the power. My wife. Okay, so I'm gonna go into reminders and where's reminders at here? Let's see, reminders, come on. Reminders, where was it? Reminders. Oh, come on. Oh, we'll look for it. Yeah, reminders, that's what it looks like. So here's my reminders. Reminders and notes, they do sync. If you sync, keep them in the cloud, they do sync with all your devices. Now, there's one thing I want to tell you about reminders, though. If you pull this up and you see something that looks like, I got to get this picture up, looks like this on your reminders,
Yeah.
don't push that upgrade button. Don't push it, because what happens, well, if you can push it and they'll tell you what it's going to do before it actually does it. But you upgrade, and if you don't have Catalina, iOS 13 and iOS 13 for iPad on all your devices, it won't sync them. So the example that they gave in the research that I did was that if you do this and you upgrade and you don't have Catalina on your computer, it will no longer sync your notes. They'll all be gone. Okay? So in my case, I've got all 3 going because I'm out there with all the snakes all the time. Catalina, incidentally, is a pretty good operating system, but I wouldn't go to it just yet. But that's what that, if you see that, that's what that warning is about. Okay? I want to just show that. I ran into that just, I think, this morning. There's one other one I ran into I wanted to show. Let me just see what that one was. Oh, I need to go back to notes again. Let me go back here again. Okay, if you go to notes, and let's just go to the one I had on watches. You see this right here, this is new. This is sort, because there's some different options here, but this little thing right here allows you to view all your notes and little things. You'll see it. I'm going to touch on that. And that's what it does. And there are all the 8 notes that I have in the watch app. And that's a nice little feature. I haven't used it much yet, but in reviewing this app and getting ready for today, I ran across that feature and I thought, oh, that's nice. You can't see it very well from the back of the room, I know, because it's all blurry, but
How does it know that they're all related?
because they're all in watch. They're all in the watch folder.
Oh, you put them in the same
Yeah.
folder.
Now I wanted to get back to your questions. So if I go to here, okay, no, you were asking, can you include a folder in a folder? There's no option to do it. If there were an option, it would say new folder like here. Okay, so when I'm in a folder, cooking folder, go to the bottom, and there's no option for me to add another folder. Not that I'm aware of. You might want to Google it. Okay, but it looks like it's not there. Okay. So here I'm in one, and there's 60 things in here. Now, the ones that are pinned, I don't know if Does everybody know about pinning in notes?
Moving up.
It moves it up. So if you pin an item, let me pin one for you. So this one right here is below the line. Everything above the line I've pinned, okay? So if you go here, pin. Okay, now if I hit that pin, now it's above the line.
And it puts an alphabetical.
I think this was the one right here, yes. I don't know, I think no, it was in, it's in date order. See the dates? You can sort that. You see here, it's sorted by default is the date, but you can change that.
Where did you get that?
Right here, hit that arrow, and you can change the order that they're in. Okay, now, here's the one, now, so here is when I slide that over, I unpinned it. So now it'll be back down here again. Okay, so when that comes in handy is, you know, does that come in handy when I'm in a folder with watch and there's only 8 reminders? No, because I can see them all. But when I'm in a folder like my big notes app, okay, and I want to see, I've got notes on, I don't want to show you any notes on that. Okay, I want to see, but I do want to see, I've got a note on my medications, I got a note on, these are some exercises that a physical therapist gave me for some specific things. I have some notes on Merrill Lynch, and I have a note on what's in my ski bag, even though I'm not skiing anymore, and I have my wife's medications. Now, but the whole point is that if I go in here and there are 196 notes in here, you can't read that, it says 196, and I'm looking for my medications. Of course, I can search right here for what I'm looking for, but if you really want them, I mean, you know, if I want them and I know I'm going to want that, then you just put it at the top. And what you do is you just pin it. Everybody understand that? Okay. So I wanted to show reminders. Yeah, I'm going to go back to reminders real quick. We got time for reminders. Yep. So I'm going to go to reminders. Now, they did a full redo on reminders as well. And you can now have, you can add pictures to reminders. I did that on this Apple Watch one. But here's some of the things that are new. They have, here's what's due today. Here's all reminders that are due. Here's one that's flagged. That flagged one just for fun. And here's ones that are scheduled. Now, so
What does the flag one mean?
I'm going to show you. So if I go into scheduled reminders, okay, I'm in there right now. The one that's flagged is right here, Beach Pass. Okay, Beach Pass right there.
Oh.
And I flagged it, so that's what it would do. And it would also put it in that folder. If I go to that folder flagged, it'll be Beach Pass, it'll be there.
And why would you flag it? What's that mean?
It just means marking it so that you know it's there. Maybe you have 100 different reminders and you want it at the top of the list or something, okay? So I flagged that, and now I want to unflag it because I just did that for this meeting. So I just slide over and I'll unflag it, and now it's gone, the flag. It's still in all these right here. So I'll go there and I'll look, and now I'm gonna let you guess which ones I put in because I wanted to make my wife happy. Garbage, weekly on that date. Cody, which is our dog, his medication. Put it on my Apple Watch every day. I can tell you, she doesn't care anything about that. But I actually put that in as a reminder, and it pops up every morning because I found after having the watch for 4 or 5 years, I get up some morning and be busy doing some stuff on the computer. I look down, it's 10 o'clock, and I forgot to put my watch on this morning. And it's not recording my activities. So that's why I put that in. Leo, he's coming tomorrow. Here's another garbage day on Sunday. Call the eye doctor, I gotta do that. And Now, here's a reminder that's way out there. My global entry pass, which I've already actually done, is due on February 22nd, 2020. My wife's is due, the one below. And I just put those in because it's like your passport. Well, when's your passport due? And people, I don't know when it's due. And then all of a sudden they got an expired passport. So that's why I put these global entry ones in. But
Is that only for your watch?
no, we're not on my watch at all. This is my watch one.
No, but you were saying about putting medication you didn't put on your watch. That's all.
No. Oh, no, I meant the reason I had the watch reminder in there was to remind me to put on my watch every day.
Okay.
The Cody medication, it pops up every night at 10:30, and there's one little pill he needs to take at night, and sometimes we forget.
Yes.
Yeah. Now everybody, no, we gotta stop the meeting. You brought up Cody, you gotta see a picture of him. That's it. Here he is. There he is. He's about this big.
Why is he taking meds?
Huh? Oh, he's got some little stomach issues, not too bad, but he takes a little pill at night and he's fine. He's about 3 years old. So yeah, that's Cody. See, all you gotta, I might have another, oh, here's another one of him. Yeah, I usually take him when he's sleeping. Okay, yes.
I often keep my iPhone silent because of the sound on. That automatically silences my iWatch.
Yes.
Is there any way that you can have the sound on your iPhone, or the sound off on the iPhone, but on the watch?
There might be, you need to Google that. I think that if when you go into sounds for your iPhone, on a lot of those settings, it'll say mirror my iPhone. And
if you go into your watch, if you go into your iPhone and
yeah, into the app on the iPhone.
Into the watch on the iPhone.
Yeah.
I think there's a item that says mirror on my watch or
I think that there is. I can check that real quick for sounds.
because I know some people were having trouble that it wasn't silencing.
Sounds.
It's under do not disturb, I think.
Do not disturb.
See if I can find it. It's the alarm bell, or the ring bell on my watch that I have turned off.
Let me just see if it's phone. Oh, if you go under phone on the watch app, okay, I have mirror my phone, or you can do custom. And the custom would be allow notifications, notification off. But I have mine mirror. So whatever I'm doing on my watch, I want or on my phone, I want the watch to do on the phone.
Also, if you go onto the watch app on your phone and go into general.
Yeah, that's what I just did.
Oh, yeah, do not disturb.
Yeah.
That's what you-
Oh, on do not disturb as well? Yeah.
See where it says mirror on my phone.
Yep. So that can be done. Okay, now I want to get right back to this just a second because we're almost out of time. Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, on reminders, it's one of the handiest things to use Siri for. I almost never open the app, but I'll ask Siri to remind me tomorrow morning such and such to call somebody.
Yes.
The three most popular commands for Siri is remind me of something,
Yeah.
set a timer, or set an alarm. So
Yeah.
you really never need to go into the app.
That's exactly right. So you just say, hey, Siri, remind me. I've done that as well. Okay, so you can you can add lists. And you can see I've got several of them here. I've shown this before, but like Costco, there's nothing there. Okay, but here Yeah. But here are the, here I'm gonna hide completed. So there's Costco, there are no reminders, but what I do, if I go in here and I say show completed, and I'll do this before I go to Costco. Okay? And now I'm going down and I just go down the list real quick and, oh yeah, I need some sliced turkey and I need some mashed potatoes and I need some this, I need some herring, I should need some of that. I need some ham, I need turkey breast, and I want some water.
Where's the wine?
The wine is, you know, I don't have to remind myself about that. Okay, and I need some aspirin, and then I go here and I go hide completed. Now, there's my list when I go to Costco. Okay, and now it shows that I've got 8 items at Costco. And when I'm going, and those are on my phone, because again, it's done in iCloud. So I'm in Costco and I'm going around, looking up in the sky, wondering why I'm here. I look at my list and say, oh yeah, well, I got this, and I got this, I got this, and I got this. And now I still have to get the other items. So that's how I use that. Yes, I've got it for, I've got it for Publix as well, which is be the grocery one. And I've got it a little bit for Home Depot. These security codes, this is an interesting one. When they come on the news today, and it used to be every day, and they say that there's been a security breach on Dropbox, I go like that. And they said there's also been one on PayPal and eBay, I go like that. And now I hide the completed. And now I know that I got to reset my passwords on those 3. It got to be such a chore of how many of these things were being announced that I decided to use reminders to just check them off. I know I've shown that before and everybody sort of likes it. Well, you go down here just to add a list. So add a list and then you just put in whatever you want. And you can make whatever color you want. So the reminders has been redone quite a bit. And again, you can drop photos in there, pictures from websites and so on. So I hope this has been a good review for everybody. I got to tell you, I got the iPhone 11. I didn't get the Pro. I really like it. The camera is better than the 10. And I sold my 10 on an app called It's Worth More. And they gave me more, about $50 more than Gazelle would give me. And I also got the new Apple Watch, sold my 4. I know it sounds crazy, but that's me. I got the 5, and I really do like the on always display. It's really nice. And it's just, like it's on right now, and it's just sort of dim, and then when I turn it up, it goes bright.
You have to charge it every day.
I do charge it every day, and it does seem to have about the same battery life as the other one, which is what they advertised, but I'm just checking that out because I just got it last Friday, so I'm still working with that. Last night when I went to bed, I had it on for about 17 hours, and I had 25% left. So I'm still working to see how that affects it. Okay. Yes, one more question.
How do you get that picture with the background?
The picture of me? That's part of the software that they're using here for people to see me remotely, and so they know to tune in because I'm such a good-looking guy.
You can use that with FaceTime.
No, not this particular application. It's not. It's like FaceTime though, but it's not FaceTime. Okay. So thank you all for coming. Really enjoyed being here.
I get 2 days out of my life.
I never got 2 days, but do you use yours for a lot of exercise? That eats it up. See, when I go for a walk for an hour, it's pinging up every step. And so that's what eats mine up a lot is the is the exercise stuff. So like yesterday, I took a bike ride for an hour and a half, and I was using the watch to record that. We'll see you, Denny. Thanks for
What
coming.
about when you, and if you're listening to music or a book, does it use up?
I haven't used it independently yet. I always have my phone with me. But I do have music on there. I did download some music. I do have a